of Palestinian lands continues in the West Bank and in the Raqqa. Thousands are facing the threat of expulsion from their lands as Israel plans to build more and more settlements. Across all of Palestine, vile settlers are still attacking Palestinians, setting fire to people and homes. And make no mistake, these are not an exception. These are not just a few psychopaths. These are part and parcel of Israel's colonial apparatus, doing whatever they can to drive Palestinians out of their homes. Across all of Palestine, hundreds are still being arrested each day. Thousands of prisoners are left to suffer and die inside Israeli dungeons. A suffering we can see on the bodies and in the eyes of those released. A suffering so unimaginable, one is unable to describe in our usual dictionaries. And outside of Palestine, the world is still operating under the domination of crazy imperialists that can do whatever they like, whenever they like. The world is still operating as if human beings are mere numbers, or bodies that can be torn limb from limb through technology and weaponry. Here in Britain, the Zionists are still being protected, and Britain is still doing its best to provide cover for what can only be described as the scumbags of this earth, and to protect its own interests in the region. This is why words, actions, resistance, and people are being criminalized. Shame upon shame upon shame added to the long list of Britain's atrocities. All this is still ongoing in the world. But, and this is what oppressors tend to always forget, there are other things that continue. The resistance to occupation and injustice continues. Our revolutions and uprisings, no matter what you do, continues. Our fight for liberation continues. With every drop of blood, with every detention and scream, our anger only grows bigger. And this is a fact and a promise. Palestine is bigger than anyone who wants to erase it. The Palestinian cause is mightier than anyone here who thinks they can criminalize it or shape it as they please. Palestine is bigger than any discursive battles conducted inside Western institutions. Palestine is a story of peoplehood, not a begging for crumbs, not a pursuit of a state on a tiny fraction of Palestine. And on that note, I end with part of a poem by late Iraqi poet Muzaffar al-Nawwab, which says, "Our cause, no matter how much they try to twist it, no matter how high they climb, no matter how low they fall, has one simple explanation: justice. Why all the nonsense? Why all the theorizing and endless debate? Our cause is that we have a homeland, just as people have their homelands, and loved ones, rivers, and ancestors. And we were children and youth there, and some of us have grown old, and all of this is now occupied and imprisoned." End quote. Palestine is occupied and imprisoned, and the culprit has a name: Zionism. It is because of it that Palestinians are forced to sacrifice and bear the unbearable. And for us here, this means that any sacrifice and any price paid is tiny in front of Palestinian sacrifices. We now would be commemorating the 17th anniversary of the 2009 Israeli assault on Gaza. Since then, Israeli assaults on Gaza only continued and escalated. Imagine how many lives Gaza has lost. We owe it so much. And if Palestinians are trying to survive earth-shattering crimes and lead a struggle as they confront this monstrosity, we surely can do our part here. And as long as Palestinians resist, we will not stop. And one day, we will witness the dismantling of Israel and its settler colonial regime once and for all. Thank you.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry, that was just a slip.
It was a warmer.
Just